Okay, so a little bit more detail on what we're seeing there. I don't have the range of motion in my left shoulder to get to where he is, so I'm gonna try my best to demonstrate. So we're at this point, we've got a good amount of width, and then about right in here is where this right arm should start to fold as the chest turns, but the elbow should not be tracking behind. So that adduction, abduction motion right there that's causing the right arm to move behind, and then the left arm to stay on the golf club is really being pinned up underneath him. Again, I've got, pretty rough left shoulder there trying to get to that position. Plus, he doesn't have a bicep or pec big enough to stop him. There's nothing to keep the left arm from going. So his left arm gets around, right arm's behind. You can actually see it on this side of his head. If my left arm could move around me that far, you would see that. So from this view, when the right arm starts to fold but moves back, then the club head will point very far across. And so as he starts down, his elbow is literally behind his rib cage right here. And so he's gonna have to throw there at the bottom. What we wanna feel is that, the head doesn't go drifting to the right, kind of stays up on top and they're in line, but that the right arm is gonna, elbow stays past the right foot. I can bend it when I get to the top, but I'm not gonna move it behind me. So for me, it feels like I'm making this nice box between my right arm, forearm, and shaft, and the right elbow is outside my right foot, and my hands are outside my right foot. Definitely not back behind me. Again, I can't get there. So the right elbow is in. From this view, it would look like the right elbow is down. Scoot up so you can see that. Right elbow folds, the butt of the club is a little farther out that way, and it's not behind me. Big difference there. So this bicep is more in front with the elbow bent, not behind. So if we do that, now the arm can get back in front of the seam line. That's what I was referring to, seam line. So from this view, this would be the best view. If you actually look from this view, you're gonna see the right elbow behind the seam line. What we'd wanna see is that the elbow is in front of the seam line. I can still turn this. This is in front. So when I start down, that gets in front. We don't wanna get that behind the seam line. Just can't catch up from there. That's the stuck feel where we gotta throw it back out. That's Shank City right there. Elbow in front, so it can come down in front of the rib cage.